Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. You know, my background has always been one of technology and science. I actually went to school for genetics and wanted to help people. And I was a paramedic and firefighter throughout college, and I got really what I wanted to from helping people out of that journey. And that's also proceeded throughout my life through different volunteer opportunities. But technology has kind of always been a passion. I started and sold a few companies, technology companies, when I was younger, and it kind of led me back to empowering. How do you empower humans with technology? And coming to Alorica, I didn't know much about this customer outsource industry at all, but it's really an interesting opportunity to have a true effect on individuals around the world and showing them the power that technology can bring not only to themselves to help further their career, but also to the consumer population to help them get the help that they need faster, better, quicker, and more efficient. I mean, we do over 3 billion transactions a year with consumers all throughout the world. And we're able to affect better experiences with each one of them and how we implement technology. So it's really fun, and that's how I kind of got into the sector of seeing the difference we can make at scale.
Amazing. So speaking of spreading the impacts and scaling up the impacts, can you please share with the readers more about the story behind Alorica, the company Alorica, and how the company is shaping that transformation that you are foreseeing right now?
You bet. Well, great question. A great way to phrase it. So Alorica is a super neat company. It was founded in 1999 by Andy and Joyce Lee. Andy is a true visionary. He has a science and tech background as well, so I love it and get along great with him.
Yeah.
And he actually invented a CRM before there was such thing as Salesforce. He actually invented a CRM system himself and ended up staffing it and kind of really got into the BPO business by having a proprietary piece of tech that he created and started to staff it. And literally, that's how it started, and where it's ended or where we are now. Alorica has over 125,000 employees. We operate in 19 countries, and we're over $2.5 billion in top line revenue. And it is all about the customer experience. So having clients that come to us and and trust us with their brand, trust us with their story, what they've built, to care and nurture for their company and their company's customers. And it's a really fascinating story. And all along the way, Andy's been at the helm. He's currently the chairman, of course, founder, but he's currently has been elevated to the chairman, where he can really help me and and really drive transformation within the company about how do we do things differently. The industry was started by people picking up phones at mass, right? Call centers, you think about call centers, people and
Mm.
cubicles answering phones. And it's really transformed into a multitude of different channels between chat, voice, WhatsApp, email, you name it. We've really helped transform the business into operating the experience how the consumer wants to be connected with, right? So we have a saying internally, right? It's the customer's choice of channel and the customer's choice of language. If I want to get help about my coffee maker on WhatsApp, I should be able to do it. There should be no barriers these days that that prevent me from getting help how I actually choose to. And that's what we try to do, is really break down the barriers of communication between the company and their customer.
Yeah. So basically, the company is transforming the customer experience, right? And serving, and through your sharing, I understand that the company has, like a very long track records and spanning across different geographies. So speaking more specifically about your current role as the Chief Digital Officer, so what are the top priorities in driving Alorica's digital information innovation agenda? Can you please share a little bit more about your scope of work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in my job as Chief Digital and Technology Officer, I get to have the most fun of anybody. So we have our normal operations, we have our normal IT operations. I have
Mm.
a, I always say a business within a business. So we crafted this brand called Alorica IQ to
Yep.
resemble truly the transformation. So we have our daily business, which we run, and then we have this transformation and innovation shop that we act on the current business. And we're looking at how we bring not only efficiencies, but how we truly bring innovation, things as utilizing generative AI to assist all of our agents and make them what we call super agents, right? We make our agents super agents, and we're able to help them do their job by the use of these immense knowledge bases, but at the tip of their fingers, because they're actually able to have the bot listen to conversations and proactively suggest answers before the customer gets there, based upon analytics and based upon data, deliver the insight, but all in real time, so that we can superpower those humans helping other humans.
Amazing. So can you please share with us an example, like of successful digital initiatives that you led at Alorica that kind of have an improved operational efficiency or the customer or improved customer outcomes?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I give you two because I think they're equally as important. One,
Yeah.
which is we actually just won the AI Breakthrough Award for customer service globally. We competed with people with OpenAI and Samsung, and our solution came out on top. And it's called Revolt, and it is
Mm.
all real-time voice translation. So if you think about in a customer experience or customer interaction, the biggest barrier is language. So if I am an English speaking agent and I know the most about Nestle coffee, if I have a caller who calls in who speaks English as their second or third language, and maybe they can't be able to properly, express what they need, that agent's kind of helpless because this barrier of language. So he said, hey,
Mm.
going back to that vision of any channel of choice, any language of choice, how do we break this barrier down utilizing the technology that's been in play today, AI, and we invented this architecture that allows agents today to speak 75 different languages and 200 dialects in real time. So I could converse with somebody who speaks Mandarin, I can converse with somebody who speaks Vietnamese, and I don't know any of it, and it's localized in real time so that I can help them and I can be the best product expert. And now I can actually localize myself so that I can help them in their local language. And not only is it just language, it's grammar. So it literally localizes the experience. So we're able to take expertise, remove the barriers or clear away the barriers, and deliver that service regardless of one of the largest ones, which was language. So I'm super excited about the transformative properties that exists, because I mean, talk about breaking down barriers. It
Mm.
allows, on the business value side, a tremendous amount of efficiencies, because previously, if I had a company and I wanted to service my customers, and let's say I had 7 languages, I would have to have 7 queues. I'd have to have seven basically groups, staff each of those groups, continue to hire and train. I don't have to do that anymore. I can have one group of experts that I nurture, feed, take care of, and make them the experts in the product, and then allow them to converse anyhow I needed to. It also allows the customer or our client to expand into markets that maybe the barrier was language support. So really
Mm.
cool on that side, and we're very proud, and we're having some great results. And I think I think we just crossed the 1 million minute mark of transcription of translations with like a 99% accuracy, about last
Wow.
week. And then the next one I think is equally important, is that's localizing the interaction. The next one is actually really supercharging or superpowering the human. And I talked about the importance of knowledge. So Knowledge IQ is a product that we developed, and it's being able to ingest knowledge bases from our clients with immediacy. And then we build a large language model, we train it, we fine tune it, and we then give access to the agents to look up anything they need. And as they're typing,
Mm.
or as they're talking, or the customer's talking, it's delivering that information. They don't have to search anymore. All the relevant information comes right in the screen. But more importantly, it's starting to give them the answer. So it's not just returning the document, it's actually reading the document and summarizing answers, next best steps, helping decrease that wait time that is annoying to all of us when you call and get help and someone has to put you on hold or they have to read an article. All that's a thing of the past. All of that is delivered in near time so that the focus of the agent can actually be on the interaction and the relationship that they're building versus, well, let me just read this. I got to read this. Like that's all a thing of the past. And it's fantastic to see. Not only is it a better experience for the person who's trying to get help, but it's a better experience for the agent from an employee satisfaction, which we believe in our culture is just as equally as important as great service. Their job's easier. They're helping people. They're happy. More importantly, they're not spending their time searching, reading, constantly feeling pressure that they have to find the answer while the customer waits. So it's something I think so simple, but really, as we insert AI into a lot of the things that we do, both properly, ethically, um, and securely, the returns have been just fantastic.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely. It's not only about delivering improved customer experiences, but also enhance the efficiency of the of the agents, of the workers themselves, using all the cool technologies that you mentioned. So speaking about, innovation, which I know that your role is currently, it's the major part of your role. So how do you stay on top of the latest technology trends and determine which ones are the most relevant for Alorica to adopt and to implement?
It's easy. I just don't sleep. I just drink a lot of coffee. It's super fun. Uh, it's no, it's actually it's one of the most challenging parts of the responsibility is
Mm,
consume the massive amounts of information because like Moore's law with processors, I feel like it's Moore's law with business transformation. It's constantly changing. A tremendous part about my success here, as well as the teams, is I have an incredible team. I have trusted advisors. I have direct reports who are experts within their field, from Six Sigma black belts to people who have had experiences at advanced AI labs to just world-class architects. So it's really assembling an incredible team with me and not behind me, but truly with me to tackle this every day because we each learn from each other.
mm,
I love AI and science. I have someone else who loves fine tuning models. I have somebody else who literally is a Six Sigma black belt who's expert at process engineering. I have a woman leader who literally knows the operations of the customer outsource business better than the customer outsource business itself. And really having all these talents come together allows us to innovate faster than it's not only just about our competition, but outpacing the industry so that the customers can really kind of perceive the value. So that's how I kind of stay up to date. I'm a voracious reader, but having really leadership is everything. So being a great leader that empowers, but also learns. I learn from my staff every day, and it's fascinating.
mm,
And the thing that is probably the most relevant, and really as we see, is the kind of the sounds cheesy. The next frontier is conversational AI. Um, Natural language to interact with computer interfaces is truly the way of the future. So if anyone needs help in the future, you can call, text, whatever, and you're talking to a bot, but you don't know it's a bot
mm,
because the AI voice is so real and the answers are so relevant and quick, you don't know. So I think there'll always have to be a backstop. Like there always have to be a human counterpart that can handle more complex issues. Or if somebody's not comfortable conversing, I think we always have to provide that option. But that is really what we see as the next frontier. And at the end, I'm happy to actually give you a little demo to kind of, you can experience what I'm talking about because it's so fascinating to us that
mm.
we've been talking with a lot of our close customers about it, and they all agree like this is really the frontier of customer experience.
Yeah,
And it's
that would be.
yeah, combination of AI, Gen AI, knowledge base, all kind of in seamless orchestration working together.
Yeah, that's true. Because from a customer's perspective, we don't care whether we're talking with an AI or whatever stuff behind the scene, right? It's all about human connection. So yeah, that's very fascinating to
Are
listen
you going
to
to help me?
your sharing. Yeah,
Do I have
sharing.
to wait for 30 minutes to change an airline ticket? Or
Mm.
if I can talk to technology and you can do it in 2 minutes perfectly, all day long, 2 minutes. Like I don't want to sit on the phone. I don't want to chat back and forth for 30 minutes. Like solve my problem so I get on with my life.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, so you mentioned about like a lot of support system that you have at your current role. But I'm very curious because you have more than 20, over 20 years of experience in this field. So from your personal experience, what are the most or the biggest lessons that you've learned about leading large scale digital change initiatives? So can you please share with us?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I wish I had these gigantic this sage advice. I found the answer, and this complex answer. It's a very simple answer, and it's about communication. And it always throughout my 20-year career, when I look back and look at the projects that have gone really well, the projects that have gone not so well, and the projects that have gone really bad, it has nothing to do with the complexity of the technology. It all had to do around change management, and most importantly, the communication up, the communication out, the communication down. When there is poor and infrequent communication, no matter how simple or complex the project is, it doesn't go well. Clear, crisp, concise understanding of responsibilities, roles, risks, and goals, timelines, so on and so forth. It sounds so simplistic, but it is one
Mm.
of the biggest indicators of success or failure is how is the project status, the outcome expectations, the benefits, how is it all being communicated to the multiple stakeholders? That is
Yeah.
the biggest indicator of success when all of the stakeholders have a clear, consistent understanding of what a project does, where it's going to be finished, what are the risks, all the different, the communication matrix is actually more than just a PowerPoint slide. It's a living and
Mm.
breathing thing.
Yeah. So speaking of that, can you please share more about, like what kind of metrics or KPIs do you use to measure the success and impact of Alorica's digital program initiatives that you are currently in charge of?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're a syndicated shop, meaning we serve many clients in many different verticals. So the performance metrics and KPIs kind of vary throughout the different programs, but some metrics that we use regarding transformation is total cost of ownership, right? Our success factor is when we can take a program and reduce the total cost of ownership and keep the actual experience. And we have NPS scores, we have ENPS scores, we have CSAT scores, all measuring customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction. And so we have a multitude or it's a multi-dimensional measures of success, because if you look at how you build trust and safety and relationships quickly over the phone to get help, which is a psychology spirit unto itself, because you're calling a stranger and asking for help and you have to give them information. So you have to develop this immediate trust. Um,
Right.
those success metrics become vital when the CSAT or the customer is happier, because
Mm.
we call FCR, first call resolution. So did my problem get solved the first time? If I have to call back multiple times, if I got transferred, that's failure. We need to solve the problem the first time and enable either technology or human with technology to take care of that issue the first time, or what we call average handle time. So how long did it take? Is it a 30-minute call? Is it a 20-minute call, or chat and email and experience? We need to make sure that we're able to solve the problem the first experience. That first experience is efficient because it's not taking a ton of time in your life, and
Mm.
it's a really as much as it can be, a joyous experience that, man, that walk away, that was easy, because when people are calling for help, that means there's something wrong. It might be very emotionally wrong. I say on maybe something on, I had fraud on my credit card. That's a highly emotional thing for some people to feel violated. And how do we actually blend solving the problem by getting a credit, opening an investigation, but also being sympathetic? How do we make
Mm.
sure that we're tackling so many dimensions of a relationship that we've had to learn and digest really quickly? Do we need to be sympathetic? Do we need to be excited with them? Do we need to be, if someone's calling to cancel a credit card because a parent passed away, we need to be emotionally supportive because they're calling to handle a transaction, yes. But the reason they're doing it is a very sad reason. So having to take into account all these different dimensions very quickly affects those KPIs, but in a very different way on each interaction. And trying to measure those each times all kind of blends into, was the customer satisfied? And in the reasons why they're satisfied vary differently from all the different reasons, right? All the different dimensions that I gave. A high CSAT score on one interaction and another interaction, they're two very high scores, could be for very different reasons.
Yeah, that's
Understanding.
very interesting. Absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of that, let's change the gears a bit. Harry, I'd love to understand more about your leadership styles, that you're currently, and so the leadership style is very important, especially as a chief digital officer, where I imagine you'll be leading a very large team at your company. So can you describe your approach, to building and leading high performing technology teams that can deliver Alorica's digital agenda?
I'll let Amy answer this. Maybe it's a good 360 shoot. Maybe I can learn something. But you know, I lead with humor.
Mm,
I really do. I think it's so important to not only be humble, but lead with humor. It breaks down barriers immediately, and there are life and death scenarios, and what we partake are not them, and we have to keep it relative. So I lead a lot with humor because, well, it's just my personality. But more importantly, really understanding um, that everybody has a story. Everyone has something that motivates them, and getting to understand what motivates my leaders. How do I interact with their style? Because what I don't want to do is change their style. They've gotten here for a very specific reason. They've been promoted. I've chosen them to lead, and I want to make sure that I have an ability to not only encourage, but help each of them grow. I'm not a very let's see, how do I say this? I'm not a very um, hard charging one where I'm yelling orders and this is due by then.
mm,
Very nurturing. I believe that each person has to feel supported both at work and outside of work to be able to give their best. I'll give you an example. We just had a team member of ours that had a medical emergency, and the amount of support that the entire team came together to be able to render and give to them and their family at a moment's notice was truly remarkable. They didn't have to. We're all around the world, and the extra effort that goes in shows that we build a village to tackle problems. We don't just show up to do a job and go home. And I think that's the
mm.
greatest success of a leader is when you can say that you've built a village and you tackle problems as a village rather than an employee number.
Yes, definitely. Peter Drucker once said that management is doing things right, but leadership is doing the right things. So I would say that leadership is all about, understanding the others peoples and empowering them to lead the right to lead and entrusting them. So I think that's really speaks about your style of leadership. And I really love the fact that you're also a very humor is also one of the character of your leadership style as well. So that's very interesting. So yeah, I just
Oh,
only
can I
have
just jump in on that real
yeah,
quick?
sure.
I do have something just to add. And Harry may have said this, but just to reiterate that our team is remote, that we are not brick and mortar. So being able to also tackle those kind of interpersonal relationships and build the team that Alorica IQ has, I would just want to make sure that, Alorica IQ is 100% remote. So in a lot of cases, a lot of us haven't even met each other and we are all around the world. So to Harry's point, like when those things happen and come up, like they're showing up for people that most likely they haven't necessarily met, being that we're in India and the UK and North America. So I think that just amplifies his leadership and point, being able to kind of making those ties that bind, even, different time zones and everything. So just wanted to point that out too.
Yeah,
Thanks, Andy. Yeah,
amazing.
we're scattered through all of the world, from Scotland, India, Philippines, every which way.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, so I only have one question left for you. So it's more about the upcoming chapter of Alorica's. So I'm curious, where do you see are the most exciting opportunities for Alorica's to leverage digital capabilities to create a competitive differentiation and to drive the growth ahead?
Oh man, it's a lot to unpack. It is as transformative and innovative as I'd like to think we are. Having the wherewithal to get our clients to understand and comprehend the digital road ahead, their digital journey, is always a continual pain point. You have very large enterprises and companies that are some of the blue chips of the world that have done things the same way for a very long time and been very successful at it. So the aptitude for change kind of culminates our conversation, right? The aptitude for change is somewhat hard, not because some of the leaders don't believe in it, but because they have an organization that truly is a juggernaut, and trying to overuse an analogy, to change the direction of a steamship is difficult. So, you asked a question earlier, and I probably didn't articulate it well enough. As part of my role, it's not just technology. I have an arm that we carry, like, if I say, from A to Z. So I have consultants that are both engineers and business consultants at the same time, all the way through pure engineer tech stack guys and gals that deliver code. And I manage from the sales relationships to the engineering and architecture to the delivery and support of these transformational journeys. And the front part is probably the hardest, because you have to be able to tell a story and bring a client along a journey about why they should believe doing something differently than they're doing today why is it beneficial to them? Why is it beneficial to their customers? And yes, they might see the economic value, but they see a lot more risk in just change. So it's bringing them along the journey, and I think a lot of that now has been more forceful because it's the consumers demanding change, and you have these juggernauts of industries, or titan of industries, that have been stuck in their way for a long time, and they know they need to change. They've told us, Harry, we know we need to change. We know we need to be more digital. We know we need to automate. We know we need to provide more self-service options. But we've been doing this the same way for so long that we just don't know how. Can you help us tell the story, gain credibility and momentum inside our own company to even have the conversations, and then actually do it? So the leading one is truly skipping some of the archaic, I say archaic now, it's not really archaic, but robotic process automation, RPA, some of this stuff that's been around for a while that a lot of people should have already been on. We literally have to leapfrog that. So all right, we should have done that. We have to literally go directly to, how do you actually come at the intersection of your business and AI? And if you try to ignore it, you're going to get run over. So how do you securely and seamlessly interact and intervene with AI type solutions? Because you're never going to have a number of human intellect that's able to keep up with machines anymore. It's how do you curate and orchestrate that symbiotic relationship? That's probably the epitaph of where we're headed. The hardest part to do is because you have to bring so many people along with you. And we always talk about the customer journey. And the technology, I don't want to say it's easy, because I know it's not easy, but of the equation, sometimes it's the easier part. The engineering and the architecture, but more importantly, the consultation around the customer or client journey about where do you sit today, where do you think you want to be, and where can you really get to, becomes the paramount of the relationship and really the key indicator of success. Can you get everyone to believe on that journey and then start the journey?
Yep, that's definitely. Thank you so much. I think that also covers the entire questions that we have for today. I think it's a very efficient call, and you truly amazes me as to how visionary and how dedicated you are to your current roles. And I'm very excited to see the next chapter of growth for Aloricas. Yep. So that's basically it. Do you have any things to add? Yep.
You've been super kind. Thank you. I hopefully I've been able to paint a picture of what we're doing, and not only the excitement, but truly we're living at a time where what we once thought was maybe fiction, maybe science fiction to some extent, is actual reality now. And to be at the forefront leading that and introducing global brands to this type of technology and then helping them enable it and watching them see it work is not, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's inspiring for a lot of different people because it allows you to enable consumers, well, usually enable people to actually interact in a different way that maybe they never have before. And I'll add one thing, and I'll tell you why. So somebody who has a disability can now interact in ways that they would never have before. And we can enable that. We can enable somebody who might not be able to type in a chat format to speak and get help quickly without having to interact with somebody who might have a chat-only program for help. Like a lot of tech companies don't offer voice support. They don't offer phone support. In fact, a leading U.S. airline took away all their phone support and just went straight chat. Well, what they didn't realize what they did was they really excluded a lot of people who relied on talking to somebody to get help. We can reinstitute that, and we can help people from the ground up by offering these programs that can allow the business objective, but at the same time, make sure that we're including anybody and everybody in how they need to perceive the interaction.
Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the story. Yeah.
You bet. Well, thank you for the time, truly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Harry and Adrielle, for the time spent. I think I have everything with me today. So it's very great conversation that happened with you today. If we need anything else, we'll sure reach out to you via email. Yeah.
And
Have a good day.
I know we submitted the pictures. They said those would work fine. Do you have an idea of when what edition or what month this will go live?
Sorry, on this one, I need to check with my team again because we have a couple of editions lining up. So I definitely need to touch base with them before we can confirm with you the final date. But hopefully they will reach out to you maybe next week to get you a more visibility into the timing that we're looking forward to, like publish this edition.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.